What a perfect day for a podcast, Christian. We're here once again with our good friend Tmnt Talk. It is officially Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Day. So for those fans who do not know about this day, because it's not really talked about, some people say it should be August 8th when the Turtles were kind of created. But Christian, before we get into the comics, can you explain what Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Day is all about and how this came to be?
Well, if I remember correctly, that was in 1993 that the mayor of Los Angeles said March 19th is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Day because in 1993 that was the date when Turtle 3 was released in a theater. So they to promote it, they created the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Day, and yeah, we celebrate it every year. Uh, like me today, I watched Turtle 3 because that's the only real way to celebrate this day, to
Yeah,
watch the perfect Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
and you literally can't stop rocking. I still say, as much as I love the intros to 1 and 2, 3, I just like 3 the coolest. It's got that music. You're ready to go. As a little kid, I'm jumping off the couch, off my bed, doing karate kicks. So, yeah, it's pretty wild how Ninja Turtles Day came out in '93 because me and you would both, again, we're diehard fans. Turtle Mania is never dead for us, but in the mainstream, it was taking a real big step back way in 1993. So, still, it's pretty cool. We got our own day. So. Happy Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Day, and we're going to get cracking with books 13 and 14. Now, book 13, as a turtle I was not familiar with on the cover, I'm like, wait, that's not Mike, Leo, Raph, or Don. So we're going to get into that and find out who this new turtle is here. But starting off first, I believe our first book is the Raphael Macro series, which almost has a Weapon X Wolverine kind of vibe here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So this is the Raphael Macro series. And yeah, it's all about Raphael because after hanging out with Casey, normal patrol, Raphael gets captured by the Earth Protection Force. And as he's drugged and under surveillance, Raphael remembers his past after he was mutated and separated from the others, like at the start of the series, way back. And he remembers that when he was alone in the streets, he befriended a homeless man named Blind Buck. But after a run-in with a gang, Buck died, and yeah, the anger after this memory that wakes him up, and Raphael breaks free from the EPF, and he gets hunted, and it's really wild. As you said, he breaks free like Wolverine Weapon X out of this cage, and he gets he escapes through a park. The EPF is hunting him. It's really, really crazy, and his anger gets the best of him, and he starts going berserk with the soldiers, and he's beating them up left and right. But in the end, his friends, they come to him, Casey, Angel, Alopex, they come to him, find him, and they are able to escape together. And in the end, it's like, Casey, hey, I always have your back, and you don't have to fight these fights alone. And yeah, once again, a very, very interesting, like the others with the Macro series, a very cool, very good character spotlight for, yeah, in this part it's about Raphael, and it was really, really good and great art once again.
And they're jam-packed too, well over 40 pages usually for these Macro series too, so you get your money's worth. I guess I didn't ask this before live, but how much did those comics cost? Were they a little bit more than the regular issue because it was a Macro? Can you recall?
If I remember, yeah, there were a few dollars more because, as you said, they were double the size as the regular comic.
Yeah. So, all right, now we're gonna get back down to business here. We've got they just keep pumping out the volumes here. We've got a lot of stuff. We're living in the '90s now. Issue number 90 with some crazy showdowns once again.
Oh boy, yeah, this issue number 90, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 90, it starts with everyone remembering Turtles and Friends, remembering Slash, because remember, he died in the last book. But old Hop, he's not sad, he is pissed. And he wants to take the war to those who are a danger to mutants, and now he's really ready for it. Meanwhile, none other than Metalhead confronts Bishop, and he proposes a partnership. And At Foot headquarters, suddenly Karai reappears with her mutant team, and she wants to talk to Splinter about taking back the leadership of the Foot Clan from him. Whoa.
That's going to be pretty interesting here because when you break down these next ones, I didn't see, I wasn't expecting what was going to happen. So feel free to break this one down because someone wants something back.
Oh, yeah. Well, with issue number 91, Karai is here. Here to, as I said, take back the leadership of Foot Clan, but she comes in peace. It's not like, I want a war. Meanwhile, Metalhead offers Bishop his technology and the capture of the turtles for the knowledge that the EPF has, like knowledge from Area 51 and stuff. And Casey and Janica, the Foot assassin, they're on a date. So there's something going on with them. And after Karai visits Orokusaki's tomb and a little fight between Raphael and Ocho, because they're like, two hotheads, Splinter actually agrees that he will give the leadership of the Foot up to Karai, because it's like, okay, I've done enough. I've gone away so much from my family. I want that back. So I give it up. You want it? That's fine. And it's like, whoop. Well, didn't expect that so suddenly, but that's the end of issue number 91.
Yeah, I was not seeing that coming at all. I mean, I thought Splinter was going to have it till the end of the series, to be honest with you. But as you know, these guys like to keep us on our toes. So feel free to pop in with issue number 92, where some drama ramen is going to really start hitting.
Oh boy. As I said, Bishop, he comes to an agreement with Metalhead. Meanwhile, Splinter and Karai are working out the contract for the change of leadership, but unfortunately, when it comes to the orphans that Splinter the Foot can take care of, Karai wants them to be future soldiers of the Foot. Or if they don't want this, they have to be killed because they know too much about the inner workings of the Foot Clan. And Splinter is not okay with that. He doesn't agree on this, and Karai challenges him to a duel. But Splinter declines, and Karai angrily leaves. But she says that the Hamato and the Foot are now at war because of this. And yeah, that didn't work out the way we all hoped for.
Oh, and it's funny because, remember, Splinter wanted to do exactly what Karai wanted if it wasn't for Michelangelo. So you wonder, let's just say if Michelangelo didn't, well, I don't know, I guess Splinter would have turned it over easily then, because the only reason he did this was for those kids and Mikey. So let's just say Mikey never asked. Would this have gone peacefully, do you think?
I don't think that. I mean, Splinter, yes, he said he wanted the orphans to be soldiers, but the part that's different is that he never said, if they don't agree, I'm gonna kill them.
Right.
So Karai takes it even one step further, and I don't think that Splinter is that down the way of evil that he would have been okay with that no matter what. I mean, Mikey definitely had an impact on him in the macro series, but I cannot see that Splinter would have been this going down this dark road. It would have been a problem anyway, I think.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I forgot about that. Like, not giving them their free will choice. Like, nope, you're just gonna die if you don't want to do this. So either way, you either serve me or die. And when you're being a defenseless little kid, you really stand a chance? Probably not. Oh boy. So coming up next, we're gonna get a little bit more details as to what's going on now, since Karai and Splinter aren't seeing eye to eye.
Yeah, issue number 93. While Splinter has everyone on the lookout for Karai, she gets ready in her own way. She attacks Antonio Puzzarelli, a mob boss, and tells him that he has to be on her side in this war, or he will perish. Well, meanwhile, Baxter Stockman is on a campaign to become mayor of New York City with April as his assistant. And to everyone's surprise, Karai wants a meeting for a truce with Splinter, and she wants a meeting with Janica. The team is not sure what to make of this, but Jenica is like, okay, if we have a chance, we have to take this chance, and she wants that meeting. So Karai and Jenica, they meet in a park under surveillance of the turtles. They're there. Karai wants to recruit Jenica for her side. But Jenica, after everything she went through, she's still loyal to Splinter, and because of everything he has done for her. And Karai is like, okay, if you're not on my side, you're my enemy. And so she takes out her sword and stabs her. The team, the turtles, they attack Karai and grab the bleeding Jenica to get her to a hospital, and she's bleeding very much, and it's not looking good.
Not at all. I wanted to ask you too, Christian. Does your country do a free comic book day like us out here in the States? Are you ever able to get any comics, either Turtles or Marvel or anything, for no cost?
Um, Unfortunately, I don't have a comic shop near me, but I know of comic shops, and they do the free
Okay,
comic
cool.
book day, and they also get the free comic book issues. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, very, very cool. It's good to know everybody does it, not just us. Because I've talked to you before about stuff, and you're like, no, like even this weekend, like we are sadly not getting the Turtles Secret of the Ooze back in theaters. So I'm glad we were able to send that
Yeah.
little bonus piece to you, so you got to see that. And if you guys stick around
Yeah.
for the end of the video, we're going to talk about that here too, because I wanted to get your thoughts live on that. That was going to be my bonus treat for those who make it to the end of this podcast of Shellonomics here on YouTube and Spotify. I want to talk a little bit more juice about that bonus video. But still, we're still at war here, this war at large. The Turtle comics love using City at War. It's just, it's their thing. You know, you got Doomsday with Avengers. Here we've got City at War. So feel free to keep breaking down this huge war we got going on.
Yeah, pretty much it starts here with the free comic book day issue with the title Casualty of War, as the team is on the way to the hospital. But the van where they are driving in gets attacked by Koya and Bludgeon, and the fight starts. They're able to reach the hospital with Jenica, but foot ninjas and mob gangsters working for Karai are waiting for them. So they have no other choice but to take Jenica to Harold's lab. Once again, it's just free comic book day, short story. And in this comic, there's also a short story called Road to War, where Akka recollects everything that happened before with the turtles, the foot, mutant animals, Bishop, Karai, etc., etc. So it's a little recap. It's one original story and one week recap story. And hey, for a free comic, that's pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So get into issue number 94 of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Bishop and Metalhead, they infiltrate the Turtles' lair, but, well, no one is there. The team with Jenica, they arrive at Harold's lab, and they would need some ooze to heal Jenica. So, meanwhile, Old Hop and the Mutanimals get ready to attack Null Industries again. And none other than Raphael teams up with them. So they attack the building, and Null escapes. But Old Hop wants all the data on the mutation experience to make more soldiers for his own cause. And Raph just goes along with the plan. And yeah, that's issue 94. That's the start. Well, I gotta say, it's the start of this, on the road to 100. Wild.
Yeah, you know, there's been so many rad team ups so far in here where, you know, Mikey, Mondo Gecko, and Alopex, and you know, nobody, pretty much Angel. But this is the one I was hoping for
Angel,
one day. I was talking to you on the side. I'm like, can we please get a Raph Hob team up? And we're gonna get it, and we're gonna see how long it lasts, because we've got the big shocker coming in 95. I mean, you could pretty much do 95, 96, and 97 like all together. But I think after you break 95, we do gotta talk a quick second, because you already know what's coming. I do now too. So feel free to just be like, whoa.
Yes, issue 95, another TMNT comic book that back then everyone was talking about. So, Jenica gets some ooze that will hopefully heal her. But then, suddenly, Metalhead and the EPF attack the lab. The Turtles and Jenica have to escape with the van, but a big fight is going on. And Jenica, it was not enough. The ooze was not enough. She's still at the brink of death, and so the Turtles have one final plan to save her. Leonardo gives her a blood transfusion, which actually heals her. But because of the mutagen in his blood, suddenly Jennica starts mutating into a turtle. Bam!
Okay, so now when you were reading this for the first time, I heard spoilers on this. I wasn't reading them anymore, but I kept seeing popping up all over Yahoo and whatever other, Google was still around, was around obviously when this was out. But Fifth Turtle. What were your opening thoughts, Christian? Because again, like I say, when you got your Mount Rushmore Turtle fans, you're up there. And I mean that wholeheartedly, dude. You're one of the guys who just loves everything Turtles. You're there for it. So, opening thoughts here. Was there pullback? Were you shocked? You're usually there for it, is usually your slogan, but were you really there for it with a Fifth Turtle here? I'm curious.
I'm not against it, and I can say this much. I really like Janica. She's been in the story for a while. We got to know her. She was a cool character, and I definitely did not expect this turn of events. I did not expect her to get mutated. And that was a real big, it's like with every book we're like, wow, that was a big shocker, and they just keep coming. And this is no difference here. It was a big surprise, and it always depends on how you do it. It's like, okay, we need another turtle because of toy sales or anything. And like, that's not the best reason. But if you're like, hey, we can do this and make an interesting story about it, it's like, okay, you have my attention. And yeah, they really went there and surprised pretty much everyone. And the way they handled Janica with the next few issues and the issues to come and the stories to come, I gotta say, I really like Janica. She's a cool character. She's a good addition to the team. And I never got the feeling that she's like, okay, we have this cool new characters. Here, she's in the spotlight. And the turtles, well, the four turtles there in the background. No, it was never like that. She is, yes, she becomes a turtle, she gets mutated, but it's not like she's the focus now of this story. And it's still about the turtles, but she's part of the team, part of the family. And with this, she's like the big sister of the four. And with this, it really works, in my opinion. I've never had a problem with Janica. Yes, it surprised me. And I gotta say, no, I'm on a rant here. But one thing that's really a pet peeve of mine is when someone like online posts a picture, like a cover of the comic or anything, we have the turtles and Jennifer on it. And every time someone is like, whoa, hey, what's this? Who's the fifth turtle? There's no five turtles, there's only four turtles. And I'm like, there, dude, you're on a turtle fan page. Janica, as a mutant turtle, has been around since 2019, since almost 7 years. You never heard of her? And it's like, really, it's like, it drives me wild that still people are like, oh, that's wrong. And if you don't like the story or anything, that's totally fine. But like, no, Rift Turtle, no, cannot work. No way. I don't care about it. Like, do you even know her? No, I don't want to get to know her. Does not exist. Like,
Yep.
yeah, whatever, dude.
No.
So yeah, I'm gonna step down from the soapbox now, but yeah, that's just my 5 cents on Janica now.
We definitely, again, guys, we're going to plug Christian's channel too if you have not checked out his channel, because I'm sure he's got plenty more thoughts with Janica stories with all the new ones, because I believe you also said that she does carry over, even though we're going to wrap up the IDW collection in a couple of weeks here, she still lives on. So I'm going to actually piggyback off that. So let's go back in time, shall we? Because this is a real controversial conversation we're probably going to have if we had other people on this show. Peter Laird refused to have a fifth turtle, remember? That was the downfall of the Eastman-Laird relationship, was because Venus was coming on in the 90s. So I'm not saying it, but maybe this was Kevin Eastman's second chance. Is like, if we were going to have a female turtle, let's make sure we do it right. Let's make sure it's not all about her. I'm going to give you my opinion when we're done with this whole book because I'm a little concerned if this is going to turn into the Jenica show. I know you're saying it doesn't, but I'll read and I'll give my taste too. But the one thing I am going to say that me and you can both agree on, because you know I like doing analogies here, is let's just do a huge example of the Avengers, right? How many times have the Avengers had new characters? Remember? How many times have the X-Men got new, mutants in their group? Has anybody kicked them out? Did anyone ever say, Psylocke doesn't belong or Nightcrawler? It should just be the originals. Because if you're talking only the originals, Wolverine would have never been an X-Man. Because the core was Iceman, Cyclops, and Marvel Girl. Remember? There was no Wolverine back then. So for what you're saying here is just to not, and I think what me and Christian are trying to say to anybody who's listening to this is we can accept if you're not a Jenica fan. All we're asking is to at least read and go in with an open mind. Because if you're just saying it sucks without even trying to understand her story, there's really no argument there. Because like Christian was saying, Jenica's been around now for plenty and plenty of issues here. She's got a very tight relationship with Master Splinter. You've seen that time and time again. Bring me Jenica. Jenica would do anything for Splinter. So to see where this goes, I'm still shocked. I mean, and especially because it was a boo-boo with Donatello getting this used too. Remember, this wasn't supposed to happen, right?
Yeah. It definitely was not planned. It was just like to get the blood to save her because she lost a lot of blood, and yeah, it was more or less an accident. Yeah.
Yeah. So we shall see, my dude. But we've got a whole bunch of back-to-backs now as we start getting the Jenica, because it's like, are they going to change her name? What kind of, is she going to get a headband? Are they going to give her a weapon? We're about to find out little by little now.
Yeah. So issue number 96. Well, Jenica is definitely in shock after her mutation. Meanwhile, the gangster bosses of New York come together for a meeting to think about what to do with the war between Splinter and Karai. But then Splinter's ninjas attack the building and, yeah, pretty much kill them all. Dexter, meanwhile, has a meeting with Null where she proposes a partnership. And Casey sees Jenica as a mutant for the first time, and he can't really handle the situation. Remember, they were on a date, there was something going on with them, but like, oh, I don't know if I can work with this. So yeah, that's you really feel for Jenica here. So later, Splinter gets actually attacked by Karai at his headquarters, and she brought all her ninjas and mutants with her for an all-out attack, which pretty much leads straight into 97, where there's a big battle at Foot headquarters. And meanwhile, Harold and Libby, they are captured by the EPF. Remember, because Metalhead and the EPF, they attacked his laboratory. At Brooklyn's home, who is Angel's father, the team meets up, but they get attacked by foot assassins, by Karai. After the fight with this assassin, Jenica grabs one of the bandanas of the assassin and makes it her own yellow mask. Because, hey, you're a Ninja Turtle, you gotta have a mask. So the turtles then sneak into Foot headquarters and see what's going on. But Splinter is captured, and Karai now takes over Splinter's Foot Ninjas and the whole Foot clan. So the turtles, they see that they are outnumbered, and they're like, okay, we can't really do anything right now, and so they leave for now to fight another day. And they're like, okay, that's where we are now. Karai took over the Foot clan, and Splinter is captured. That's bad.
Oh, it certainly is, my dude, because you're like, and Karai's pretty pissed at Splinter too, so this isn't going to be just like a peace treaty, I don't feel. So, we got our breath caught up. Let's go into the next one.
Alrighty. Tmnt number 98. So, Bishop actually meets with Han, and he asks him to help him with the mutant problem. And Bishop, by the way, has 2 Slash clones with him, which he controls. And yeah, Han is like totally on board with this, like fight all these stupid mutants. And Hop gets ready for a big project, which we don't really know a lot about now. Raphael and Leo, they have a fight over what to do next. And after this, Raph is like, I'm out of here, leaves and goes back to Old Hop. Baxter actually wins the election, becomes mayor of the city, and has a big public conference. And suddenly, in the middle of this, the Mutanimals arrive, and Baxter and April's like, okay, we're out of here. They leave. But Hop goes in front of the cameras and tells the whole world about mutants. Like, hey, we step out of the shadows. We are here now. Deal with it. And before Bishop and his team can stop them, Hop detonates a mutagen bomb in the middle of the city, which turns everyone around into a mutant. And Splinter, meanwhile, gets a visitor in his prison cell, none other than good old Red King. Like, okay, once again, wow, what is going on here? It's like uh, Hop's mutagen bomb was definitely like the big shocker of this issue, I gotta say.
Yeah, and you've got Raphael once again. Is it's like this is the? It's like wait, this is not what I wanted. That's what happens sometimes, though. You know,
Yeah,
it's the same thing when you get into relationships. It's like, oh, this isn't what I want. Well, what did you want? You know what the person is. I mean, Hobbs been like this since day one. This is his path. He loves mutants. He wants to protect mutants. What were you thinking, Raphael? You know what I mean? It's like, I'm sorry, but that's on you. As much as I love that team up, I mean, Hobbs crazy. We both know. I've got a soft spot for him, but at the end of the day, right? I mean, that's what he wants, right, Christian?
yeah, absolutely. And it's like Rev didn't realize it. It's like, hey, I'm also a mutant. Hey, I can help here and there, but that pretty much old Hop is pretty much a terrorist now. He's doing this, and Rev realizes it too late, and he's really like, as you said, it's like, oh, this is not what I wanted. This is not what I wanted. It's like we're talking about Hop here, so it's not that big of a surprise, dude. So
Yeah.
yeah, Rev could have seen this coming, man.
You sure could have. Coming up now, though, is issue 99. And just a little cool fun fact again, we try to pop in as many Easter eggs as we can. What's the first thing you see in yellow on this page, Christian? Area 51, Southern Nevada, USA, timeline 1984. Take it away.
So yeah, this is pretty much where yeah, while in the present time, while the turtles and the friends try to help all the newly mutated people, Splinter talks with the Red King because the Red King wants to help Splinter, but he must accept him as his master. And Splinter's like, nah, he declines and starts breaking through the wall with a lot of hurtful punches. Like, I can do this myself. Donatello, meanwhile, confronts Metalhead at Harold's old lab, and after a short talk, Donatello is able to shut Metalhead down with a kind of EMP bomb. So Metalhead is off the board now. The Turtles then teleport into Foot headquarters to talk with Karai about an attack planned by Bishop. It's like, hey, Bishop is coming here. Just then, the EPF attacks and the biggest fight ever starts with everyone involved. But Kitsune, on the other hand, she has her own plans because she brought Orokusaki's body to the roof of the building to finally, through a ritual, bring the dragon back to Earth. Like the big plan that she had, bring the dragon, her father, back to Earth, bring him back to life. And yeah, yeah, we're definitely on the road to 100 here. It's like, whoa, as you said, it's like, it feels really endgame style.
Yeah, and what I like too is just in the beginning with that 1984, there was Bishop's backstory, and we all know 1984, the year the Turtles were born. Just little
Yeah.
nuances like that I always have fun with. But now this one was a little confusing. This kind of to me had bebop rocksteady vibes here, but it's just this could have been a. I'm sure what you'd probably agree with me. This is something that anime would do so well. Is this new miniseries called Shredder in Hell? Can you just imagine an anime about this?
Oh, dude. I mean, this is, I think I mentioned it before, but Shredder in Hell, the miniseries, is one of the most beautiful comics that I've ever seen. The art alone, this book, just for the art alone, is like fan freaking tastic. And yeah, it has some anime feel there. And yeah, this in anime form, this is an animated form. Like, here, take my money, take my kidney, whatever. This, it's okay. I need it.
Oh my god. Yeah, feel free to break this down however you see fit, the whole series, because this is just chaos, obviously. That's even an understatement.
Yeah, it's like it's this really a Shredder in Hell, the miniseries, 5-part miniseries. It's really hard to break down because it really this is hell after all. This is the afterlife, and it does not work in the normal physical way. Like, okay, we're going from point A to point B. It's just there's so much going on. They're jumping like all over the place, but just go along with the ride. Just go along here, because after his death in TMT number 50, Orokusaki is now in the afterlife, and there he confronts Takeshi Tatsuyo, the founder of the Foot Clan, and he meets Splinter. How could this be? Well, because in hell time is different. So after Splinter demutates, he becomes a little red again, and he hops on Saki's shoulder to stay by his side, like an old friend. And in this hell, Saki gets attacked by zombified versions of the Savate ninja. And after a fight, he runs into hellish versions of the turtles that mock him. Like, hey, they look really cool. So Saki fights these turtles and more zombie creatures, and they like all they come from Shredder's past appear to confront him. And after that, a form of Masato, Saki's old master, confronts him, and then a form of his father, like all these like devilish visions. And they mock him about his failures in life. And yeah, then he meets the demon kid that he has already met in the Shredder micro series. And together they go on, hunted by visions of his past. Saki comes to the realization that Kitsune was using him for her own plans to reawaken the dragon because he was the vessel of the dragon. Through all this craziness, Takeshi Tatsuyo reappears and confronts Saki again. Splinter, as the red, gets destroyed, and Takeshi has Saki by the throat. Takeshi brings Saki to the dragon, who finally wants to take him over. So Yoshi reappears as human and fights off Takeshi, but then he gets reunited with Tang Shen and they disappear. Saki then meets the second entity next to the dragon called the Dreamer, and the Dreamer, and Dragon, they were the ones who created their children, the Pantheon, like Kitsune, Red King, and so on and so forth. So they're like the big gods of this. Because the dragon was causing chaos and corrupted the human world, the dreamer binds the dragon to a human soul, like Takeshi and later Saki. But Saki now doesn't want to be just a vessel for the dragon. So now he is his own. He forges his own fates and he confronts the dragon. Saki, with newfound powers, confronts the dragon and the gigantic mystical battle starts. Once again, very anime like. And with Splinter's help from the real world through meditation. So Splinter in the real world meditating is able to get in contact with Saki, and he's finally able to get the dragon under control. And then in the real world, Kitsune is preparing her ritual. But Akka comes in and she wants to stop her, but she gets her throat slit because Kitsune needs her blood for the ritual. So Akka is dead. And then the body of Shredder reawakens in the land of the living. And that's the end of the Shredder in Hell miniseries and the start of issue number 100.
Okay. We're going to let Christian catch his breath really quick here. Number 100. The final book in this collection of books. Not the final ever, but for this book here. Christian, we haven't gotten our traditional shocking death. Are we going to get one in this one? Feel free to take us home, buddy.
I'm not going to spoil it. I guess we're going to find out. Well, issue 100. And this really feels like an 100 issue. And it's like oversized. And really, there's so much going on in this issue. Karai, She wants to try. She tries to stop Kitsune, but she gets stopped by Ocho. And Saki's body comes to life, but his head is still missing because Splinter has it. Inside the Foot headquarters, the Turtles fight with Bishop, the EPF, and the Slash clones. Raphael almost kills Bishop in a berserker move, but Leonardo can stop him. Han, who is controlling one of the Slash clones, fights Bebop and Rocksteady. But when he sees that Bishop attacks Casey with a blast of energy, Han jumps in front of it to save his son, but this kills himself. One of the Slash clones then gets memories of his original personality and realizes that Bishop is the bad guy and stomps on him. So, 2 deaths in a row. The sword Kira no Ken that Karai had gets sent back to the heavens by Kitsune through his ritual, and this frees Ocho, and she can finally go in peace, and so she's also dead. Then the ritual is completed, and a gigantic dragon appears on the rooftop. Demons appear and start attacking everyone. Splinter, he has the skull of Saki and he starts contacting Saki's real self in the afterlife. He has to bring Saki back to the real world, and through this unreal energy, the dragon could be slain. But for this, Splinter has to give his own life. One final time, Splinter contacts his family and says sorry for everything he did wrong and that he loves them all. Then a giant blast of energy shoots at the dragon, killing him. This finally brings the real Orokusaki back to the land of the living, but Splinter is dead. Everyone is devastated, but in the afterlife, Yoshi and Shen are finally reunited for eternity. Then we see in Dimension X, the orphans were brought there to be safe with Harold and Libby. But Honeycutt, the Fugitoid, has some new information because he found out that the Utron race is a parasitic race. And because of that, Krang apparently is still alive and living as a parasite inside Leatherhead's stomach. And once again, it feels like an ending, but we like get this cliffhanger like, okay, there's still stuff going on, and wow, what an issue. 100, that it's delivered on all the fronts.
It feels to me like we have a long way to go here still. We still have 5 more books to cover in whole. So there's a lot more ground here. But to me, so far, I'm going to say this is almost like Avengers Endgame. Because what more do you want? This is a perfect send-off. You know, you had Iron Man die in Endgame. Splinter's gone. Other characters like Captain America went and did their thing. Obviously, a couple other characters perished here too. So, how, dude? Shredder. How do you get? Do you like this? I mean, you know what I mean? Just like of all shocking things, it's Shredder again back. I mean, it's crazy for me. I like it because it's something fresh. Curious on your thoughts here, though. How it all goes back to Shredder at the end.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, you know from the miniseries, and you feel that Shredder, he is, yes, Orokusaki is back, but he's different. He changed. Something is different. We don't know yet what really is going on, but we, you know, like that he got the dragon, the dragon and Takeshi Tatsuyu. He got that out of his system, and that part out of him, he has changed. He became more like the character that he was before, when he was still friend with Hamato Yoshi when they were younger. So you feel that something is different. He's not like, haha, I'm back, I'm gonna take over the world. It's not it. But what it really is, how he really is, we're gonna find out at a later time. But yeah, it's like Splinter and Saki, they changed sides. Like, okay, I have to die, you can come back to life. Like, and it's like it feels like, okay, this is now the only way to stop this big evil, this dragon. And like, okay, I'm not sure what it really means, but I'm very interested where this is going. What are the plans now that Orokusaki is back in the land of the living? So, okay, show me more. And hey, we're up to for a world without Splinter. What does this mean for the turtles? So that's also something that we did not see much in turtle media. So I'm curious where this is going with the next story.
Yeah, especially with whatchamacallit, we have a female turtle, we have Splinter gone, and there's still a lot more ground to cover, I guess, here, my dude. But that is the end of a huge milestone. So congratulations, because also this is the end of Kevin Eastman's writing in this book, right? I don't think do we see him anymore in later books? Because I know in book 14 he doesn't start it.
Yeah, that was there was a shift for the writer because, as you said, it was Kevin Eastman and Tom Waltz. They were the main the head writers of the first 100 issues. And starting with issue 101, Sophie Campbell took over as head writer. And yeah, I gotta say, not gonna spoil anything, but yeah, you feel that there's a shift. It's a different world. It's a different feeling, and we're gonna find out what this means for the turtles and this comic book.
Yeah, we're going to find out indeed, because feel free to start it up. And with issue 101, once again, let's get a new character in here. Somebody that starts with the letter M.
So yeah. So in issue number 101, we see that Splinter, he gets buried near the O'Neill farm. And we've also find out that for all the new mutants who are now existing in New York City, a part of New York City gets sealed off and it's called Mutant Town. Raphael and Pepperoni, they go back to New York. The other turtles, they stay on the farm. Mikey has pretty much drifted into a depression and he now takes care of a cat named Clunk. Have heard that name before. Alopex has opened a soup kitchen in Mutant Town, and Jenica meets a little albino turtle kid who will later get the name Lita. Otop and the Mutanimals rule Mutant Town with an iron fist with the help of so-called enforcers to keep an eye on the other mutants. And Jenica sees a lizard mutant getting attacked by these enforcers, and her name is Mona Lisa. Jenica helps her, but then they get attacked by a porcupine mutant named Diamond, and she's trouble.
Yeah, I'm sure it's trouble, because there's a lot more lady talk coming up now with these here. So, how do you like Mona Lisa in this?
Oh, it's real. First off, I really like her design. It really feels like this salamander like. I really like this, and yeah, she's very reminiscent of the classic cartoon Mona Lisa because she was a human first and she was a scientist. She was a young woman who was studying this science stuff. And then she got mutated and everything changed for her. So I really like her, the way she is in this story, gotta say.
And we've got Tom Waltz coming back for the annual here, though, my dude. Before Sophie takes over a lot more, we've got Tom Waltz popping back one more time.
Yeah, with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles annual 2020, where we see that the Red King approaches Orokusaki, and because he wants a new player for his game, but Shredder declines, he's not interested. Meanwhile, the EPF is getting rid of the carcass of the dragon in the city, and Karai is trying to find a new way after everything that happened. And she looks for new alliances, maybe with Old Hope and new soldiers from Japan. So Red King sees her and thinks that she could play a big role in his game. So yeah, he's like in the background, like, she could be interesting. Sometime later, Alopex and Angel actually run into Leatherhead, who is controlled by Krang in his stomach. Leatherhead attacks the duo, and Krang wants to get the technology from the turtle van that's standing around. So the team destroys the van with a self destruct mechanism. So Krang doesn't get anything. Red King sees all this and erases the memories of all the participants because he thinks they all can be interesting players in the future. And like, let's keep watching where this is going. So yeah, this is pretty much like Red King just checking in with everyone, what's going on with everyone. And yeah, but the guy has plans of his own, and we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, and the Turtles are broken right now too. Just it's a lot to take in. Their father's gone, so this is a whole different tone in this book now. Nobody's really. I don't really feel the chase anymore. It's more intimate Turtles so far. I gotta say, it's not a bad thing. It's just it's going to be something that I'm going to have to get used to as we continue to read because we've got some more little critters in this next issue too. These little dudes and that good old Sonic the Hedgehog character's coming back.
So yeah, getting back into the regular series with TMT number 102, where we see that before Diamond, the porcupine mutant, can kill Jenica and Mona Lisa, Raphael and Sally Bright come in, and Sally is like, hey, you're too aggressive, and she fires Diamond from the Mutanimals. Back on the farm, Donatello, Leo, and Mikey, they barely talked with each other, and this really breaks my heart, like seeing these brothers drifting apart. So Donatello can't take this anymore and he leaves for New York City. Diamond goes to Old Hop and pleads that he shouldn't fire her, but he doesn't listen. Later, some Foot members come in because Hop promised the Foot new soldiers for supplies for Mutant Town. So Diamond, as revenge, frees these mutants. Three little mutant weasels that escape into Mutant Town looking for something to eat.
And feel free to pop into the next one.
So yeah, okay, TMT number 103, where we see Donatello who arrives in New York City, and the Weasels they come to Alobac's soup kitchen and cause chaos there. Back on the farm, Clunk runs off, leaving behind a very sad Mikey. Leonardo helps him looking for Clunk, but they can't find him, and they finally start talking again, and they hug it out, and like one wonderful brotherly moment. Hop then is able to capture the little weasel mutants again, but Sally comes in and she confronts him that he is selling children as soldiers to the Foot Clan. And Hop is like, hey, this is the only way for Mutant Town to survive. But Sally has enough of this and she punches him in the face and declares that the Mutanimals are over. Which, yeah, pretty much leads into TMT number 104, where Sally leaves Old Hop behind but takes the weasels with her. Donatello and Raphael they meet, and together with Jenica, they decide to go back to the farm. So the next day, they meet Leonardo and Mikey, and suddenly Clunk, who was missing for a while, reappears like nothing happened because that's what cats do. I have cats, I know that. This whole absurd situation makes the whole team laugh for the first time in a long time. Soon, they all return to New York to open a dojo in Mutant Town to remember the lessons Splinter taught them and teach them to others. And after a hard day working on the dojo, Jenica takes the whole gang to a metal concert in Mutant Town to finally get some relaxation. And yeah, that's issue number 104.
I got a feeling that before you break into 105, that may have been, I could, this is just me guessing here, but we both know Kevin Eastman had his own magazine, Heavy Metal. He's a metal guy, so I think this is her way of saying, hey, Kevin Eastman, we thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, because, I mean, that could have been any concert, but that's just my little take here with the little heavy metal concert. So let's see if these guys like the heavy metal.
Yeah. So they are now at the Kennel Club, who is this music club in Mutant Town, and the gang has a blast, except for Raphael and Alopex, they're not into the music. So they go outside and they talk a little about everything that happened, and then they share a little kiss. So yeah, I'm a romantic. I love this stuff. After the concert, the whole team comes together at the dojo and they plan to train every mutant who comes to them to show them the lessons Splinter taught them. Alopex even gets a green mask as a member of the Splinter clan, what they call it. So, normal life starts at the dojo in Mutant Town, but near the O'Neill farm, a portal opens and out steps a grown up Lita with a time scepter in her hand. Dun dun dun!
Yeah, we've heard of that time scepter before, and it's just pretty cool to talk about that because it is Turtles Day, which, like we talked about with Turtles 3 seeing that scepter, we've seen it plenty of times too with Renette. But coming up first, it looks like they're trying to keep the pace of the Eastman Waltz way because now we're going to have a little mini series. Let's get to know Jenica a little bit better with her mini series.
Yeah, this is the first Jenica miniseries, three-parter, where it starts with after Jenica chases a rabbit mutant who tries to sneak out of Mutant Town. And then she runs into Casey and the Purple Dragons and they have a little talk. It's like, okay, how are you? Oh, cool, but fine. So back in Mutant Town, she goes to the Kennel Club and some other mutants start a fight with her. She beats them easily, but also run into an old friend named Silas, a muskrat mutant. He was once her friend, but also one of the guys who left her behind after a robbery where she got arrested. So, of course, she's pissed at him. But then he tells her that he needs help with a job that could lead them to a cure for mutation. So, to get the cure, they need money. Silas hid some money from the last robbery in a gun shop, which is now run by two brothers who mutated into beavers. They are able to get the money, but almost get killed by the two gun loving brothers. After this, another guy from Jenny's past appears, Ivan, a bat mutant. He knows about the cure for mutation and even shows Jenica a video of a woman getting demutated. And this finally convinces Jenica that, well, this cure could be real. The gang go through the black market of Mutant Town and they are led to a place where the cure should be found. In an underground dungeon, they run into the dealers of the cure, who are none other than Bebop and Rocksteady. And it's all a scam, and they just did it for the money. Jenica fights with them, and they escape. Silas is devastated, but Jenica finally starts to accept her new form and looks towards a brighter future. So, yeah, that's Jenica's main story, gotta say here.
And again, we got to remember, she was pretty much going to be dead. Donatello did whatever he could to keep her alive. Remember, otherwise it was either be a turtle or death. Yeah. So I think being a turtle is not that bad so far. I'd still rather be alive, and of course being an Ninja Turtle ain't that bad. Yes, you can see there was something going on with Casey and her, and we're going to get into that in a couple more books. So that's a little disheartening for your girl over here, your girl Jenica, but gotta say, it's always nice seeing Bebop and Rocksteady. It was a nice little surprise in that one. So coming up next, we have a couple new mutants, some like Slinky like Creepola, and return of Baxter's old friends, his old robots.
Yeah. Oh, but damn! I forgot. We did the Jenica miniseries. They also had some backup stories.
Oh so, yes, the mini one. That's right.
Yeah, the short backup stories. Just gonna go over them
what
quick.
If, right? The Marvel what if. Isn't that what they call it? Right?
Yeah, there are three. There are three, and what if is one of them? Yeah. So let's start with the backup from Jenica number 1, which is called Time and Time Again, where Jenica is sitting in Alobek's soup kitchen and she remembers Splinter, but she also remembers another rat because after she went to prison when she was still a human, she meets a normal rat which she feeds and they became friends. So when she escaped the prison, the rat came with her, but then she ran off, the rat ran off, and Jenny just wonders what happened to it. But she decides to keep the memory of Splinter alive and honor it for the rest of her life. So that's that. Then a funny little story called Recreation from the Jenica number 2 backup story, because it's girls' night with Jenica, Alopex, Mona Lisa, and Sally. And they hang out at Mona's place and try different girl things like makeup, playing Monopoly together and stuff. In the end, they realize that they just aren't normal girls. They are friends, but have different hobbies. And so they do what they enjoy the most. Mona is reading a book, Sally is building something, and Alopex and Jenny are sparring and they're just having fun. I really like this little story here. And then back up from Jenica number 3, which is called What If? Jenica thinks about what would be different if she would have been part of the Hamato family from the start. Like, would she have grown up with a loving family? Would she have fallen in love with Casey too? Or if she would have become the leader of the team or anything. But she comes to the conclusion that it doesn't really matter. She is now part of this family, and that's good. So, yeah, I just wanted to get over these
Yes.
short stories here
And
too.
yeah.
We want a complete
Yeah,
story.
exactly. Especially with that what if. Good call. That was a pretty fun one too. I did enjoy the what if because you got a little piece of Splinter coming back too.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
So now back to the main story, to the main event with Tmnt number 106, where we find out that in Mutant Town some kids went missing and the turtles, they want to investigate it. So little Lita knows that this is the Slithery, which is kind of like the boogeyman in Mutant Town. And after a fight in the dojo, Lita runs off and hides in the city. She sees a Mouser, and suddenly she gets abducted by the Slithery, who turns out to be a giant mutant eel who just, slithers around. So, yeah, oh my god, Lita, that's the end of that.
Yeah, exactly. Just quick and painless. And we got another one.
Yeah.
And it was good. It's cool seeing a couple of these. I mean, again, they're trying to branch out a little bit more. So I have read some feedback before I read this that there's too many characters, but so far I'm okay with this, how they're going at this pace.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about like old top mutated, like hundreds of people. So
Yes.
of course we see a lot of them here in Mutant Town, and yeah, like, but most of them they are background characters. So this is also something that it feels different because the whole world changed. The world of the turtles changed. Mutants are out in the open. There are a lot of them, and they're living in their own part of New York City. So it's understandable that they have, like, here at the start after 100, they have this focus on this new world, like this new town inside New York City. So yeah, there's a lot going on, but we just have to, how should I put it? This is like the world we have to learn now to understand. So that's totally, in my opinion, it's understandable that they went this way now.
Yeah, exactly. And two things, too, I forgot to point out for us Easter egg friends here. Issue 92 in the other book, I totally forgot Irma was mentioned. So it was nice to see Irma back in the realm here. And then also in issue, we just talked about this earlier, the 105, there was that 87 cameo, if you remember. They had like the iguana guy and a couple others that were from that the original 5 episodes, what they would have been like if they were mutated. So pretty cool to see them, like you say, since we're talking about all these mutants, might as well throw them in there as well. But feel free to get us back into where we are now, Christian.
Alrighty, with issue number 107 of Tmnt. So the turtles, they go looking for Lita and the missing kids. And they run into some Mousers walking around Mutant Town, and they follow them. Lita, meanwhile, finds herself caught in a pit with all the other missing kids. And the turtles, they chase the Mousers, and then they run into the Slithery. They discover an underground biome full of small mutated creatures, which the Mousers try to isolate. So apparently Dexter knows about this. But suddenly, one by one, the turtles get grabbed by the Slithery, which pretty much leads straight into Tmnt number 108, where the turtles wake up in the same pit where the kids are, and with the climbing claws, they are able to get out of this pit. Then they run into April, who knows that Baxter knows about the situation Mutant Bound, but he just wants to keep it isolated and not help the mutants. After the kids are saved, the turtles confront the Slithery again, and after another fight, the Slithery escapes and swims off towards the sea. But since the Slithery is not really evil, it's more like an animal, it acts like an animal, the danger is gone for now. But some of the Mousers bring Baxter some of the eggs that the Slithery has laid, and whatever he has planned with that.
Oof, so just lots and lots going on. One random thing that I like the little Yoshi egg because Mario's coming to town at the end of 108, so it reminded me of the Yoshi egg. Yeah. And one other, just I'm going to be the only guy that ever asked you this because you're going to be like, what? But I think it'd be kind of cool. So I'm a big Pokemon guy, and I like the Squirtle Squad. Could there ever be some sort of cool Mouser like squad with like sunglasses? Could you see like a different kind of Mouser with some cool armor, even if it's sunglasses, something like that?
Oh, absolutely. You know what I just think about in Splintered Fate, there are Mousers with mohawks, and from
Yes.
when you're on a junkyard level, the Mousers with mohawks. So hey, it can work. It can work.
Exactly. That's how I feel about it. So I had to just throw that little stuff in there. But feel free to come on down. And so far, I'm with you. It is not the Jenica show yet. They're still focused on all the turtles, so we're not complaining about that yet. We had to get her backstory, because why not? All the other turtles got one, and why wouldn't you want to get to know her a little bit? So I'm fine with that too, having her own miniseries. So feel free to keep breaking this book down here.
Alrighty. With issue number 109, Donatello and Mona Lisa, they're working together to start rebuilding a school for the kids in Mutant Town. And Jenica then goes to the Kennel Club, and there she runs into Diamond again. But Jenny immediately attacks her, but it turns out that she didn't want to fight. Diamond didn't want to fight. And Jenica, because Jenica thinks about forming a band, and Diamond wanted to ask if she could be part of it. So, yeah, big misunderstanding there. Mikey, meanwhile, starts a radio show for the citizens of Mutant Town. And while all this is going on, an octopus mutant sneaks into the dojo late at night and suddenly attacks Leonardo, which once again straight goes into TMT number 110, where Leo fights the octopus mutant and he runs off, but Leonardo chases him. Meanwhile, Raphael and Alopex are having a date night and they run into a gang of bikers called the Roadhogs. Through a misunderstanding, the leader, called Tusk, starts a fight with Rev, but Alopex says that they should rather have a race on the motorcycles, which they do. Raphael is in the lead, but when Tusk has an accident, Rev comes to her help, and for this she's like, "Okay, we're cool now," and she gives him one of the motorcycles. Leonardo, meanwhile, follows the mutant octopus to the headquarters of the Mutanimals, and it turns out that Hop wanted to find out what the turtles' plan with the dojo was, and so he sent their octopus mutant there. Suddenly, the three weasels, they appear, the little kids, they appear and run up to old Hop, calling him Daddy. And Leonardo sneaks in, well, grabs the weasels and escapes with them. But he also knows now that Hop has planned another infiltration of the dojo in the future.
Whew, dude, I'm liking how they still have Hop a main focus point, but we have, it's crazy. There's been no, I guess they're just waiting for the Shredder talk again, which is fine, because I guess they wanted to take a deep breath from that huge shocker, and then maybe they didn't know where to put him, but I do enjoy, it still feels like that continuation. You're doing a good job, too, where it's like, how these issues keep going back to back. So have you been a fan? Well, you've been a fan, but have you been liking the pace of this writing so far with the new Sophie Campbell taking charge?
Gotta say, after issue 100, with the start here, it slowed down a little bit because, hey, leading up to 100, the issues, they were like banger after banger after banger. It was so much going on, and they like really slowed down, and it shows us a lot of like slice of life stuff, like normal life stuff. The turtles doing normal stuff, not always fighting evil mutants or big warlords or anything. They're just trying to survive in this new environment. And I, for my part, I really thought it was a nice and interesting new take. But I know that some people are like, "Hey, it's too slow paced," and I think it's better now that you like can read these issues one after another. But when you have to wait a month between each issue, it really the pacing is really it's slower, and it was too slow for some people, and
Good point.
I can understand that, but for my part, I never really had a problem with this. Like, okay, I get the feeling. It's like it slowed down, but we needed a little briefer. And it's not like there's nothing going on. It's just in a different pace. And so, yeah, that was. I guess that's my opinion on this new take here, this new way of storytelling.
Yeah, and we still have a long way to go just to see if they can keep up. And again, it's hard shoes to fill too. Not that she couldn't. Sophie Campbell couldn't. It's like you're going from the dude who created these guys, Kevin Eastman, 100 issues plus. I mean, I don't have the total count for that. Those are just the core issues. That's not counting the micro. They've had at least close to 125 off the top of my head. I don't have a full count, but maybe even 130 with your Krang Wars, your Shredder and Hell, like all those other mini series and macro series they had too. So those are big shoes to fill, and it's hard to keep the issues going either. You know, I mean, there's still a big support for the IDW community because they were still going at this time, and like you've told me before, when I start getting into the newer comics, this story still kind of plays off. Jenica isn't going anywhere in this core story. So this is where we are now, though. Feel free to take us into the next issue, my dude, as we're getting closer and closer to bringing this book to a completion.
Yeah, TNT number 111. So the Turtles and everyone else at the dojo, they get ready for the attack by Hobbs' mutants. The Turtles, with traps and ninja skills, fight off the two mutants who sneak into the dojo and leave them tied up in front of the Mutanimals headquarters. Meanwhile, Mona Lisa is able to contact her parents because Donatello was able to repair the telephone and the internet system in Mutant Town. But when her parents see that her daughter is now a lizard mutant, they immediately end the call and leave a devastated Mona behind. And as a father myself, this really breaks my heart because I could never, it doesn't matter what kind of mutant my child could turn out, I would never leave her behind. So Karai, meanwhile, pays another visit to Old Hob because he still owns her new mutants for her army. And for this, she sees two specimens who are very interesting. A giant wolf mutant and a giant snapping turtle. Ha! Have heard that before.
Yes. Just around the corner. We just talked about that last weekend with Turtles 2 coming back. So that's our two more characters coming into the family, but we'll always welcome Toka and Razor. We think we're not 100. Maybe our buddy Christian has been trying and outcrying for weeks and weeks. Why is Old Hob not in Tales of the Turtles? It's Old Hob. It's okay to say it. Say it. So maybe they changed the names. We're not sure, but I believe we have one more left, and we're going to find out a new mayor, not Baxter Stockman, but a different mayor.
Yeah, Tmnt number 112. April, Casey, and Angel, they visit their friends in Mutant Town, and there's a self-help group of mutants in town who come together for a meeting, and they talk about how the mutation changed their lives, and some are very unhappy about it, but others see this as a fresh new opportunity in life. So the tension rises and, well, a fight starts between the mutants. And during all this, there's a Jay, a mutant poisoned frog, and by accident, he touches Mikey and poisons him by, accident. Sally then steps in and stops the fight. Like, hey, I mean, she's a big lioness, so it's understandable. It's like everyone listens to her. Mikey wakes up after being knocked out for a while, and he's fine. He's fine, just a bit woozy. But the team realizes that Mutant Town needs a leadership, and it can't be Old Hob. So they should give a mayoral election in Mutant Town, and everyone agrees that actually Sally is the perfect candidate for mayor of Mutant Town. And she's a little bit surprised by that, but well, that's the end of issue number 112 and this book.
So no deaths in this one, I guess, just because there were just way so many in that last book. We didn't get our shocking death, so different tone. kind of enjoy the struggle that Sally had before she gets to be mayor. Again, remember, she was getting kicked out of the Mutanimals, so she's taking a step up. So, who have you liked in these books that you didn't really bond with? Because there's a lot more characters are coming around now, Christian. Is there anybody you're starting to bond with more and root for? Whether it's Jenica, Mona Lisa, Sally, anybody coming to mind here for you?
Oh man, as I said before, I really like Jenica, and I also enjoyed the new take of Mona here. But I gotta say, little turtle, she's such a cutie. I'm a fan of her. I mean, yeah, she's a little kid, and so there's some problematic stuff with her, and she like gets angry, and you know how kids are, throwing a tantrum and stuff. But in the end, she's like, you really feel for her because she was left on the streets by her parents. And once again, same thing with the whole situation with Mona Lisa and her parents. This is the stuff that breaks my heart. And so, yeah, but I gotta say, there's not really someone where I'm like annoyed at or anything. Some are maybe a little bit more interesting than others, but all these new characters, they really have a reason to be here, and I'm just along for the ride. I'm just there for the ride and see where this whole thing is going.
And that's what we're going to find out in our episode next week. So just my final thoughts on book 14. I said it earlier. I'll say it one more time. I don't know. But for me right now, I don't feel that this is the Jenica show just yet. You know, Power Rangers, I grew up in the 80s and 90s. I grew up with the original Power Rangers. And you had a green dude named Tommy. And when he first came into the show he was cool with the green with evil. And what I liked about it was, even though he was arguably the most popular Power Ranger of all six, and arguably, because I like Jason and Kim more, but I know a lot of people like Tommy, it was never always about him. He had his own little stuff. You know, the putties would attack him because due to the Japanese footage, they couldn't really mesh well with the American, footage, so they'd have him do his own thing, but never really just focused on him. And so far, it hasn't been about Jenica. The one thing that I would like to have changed while reading these, though, Christian, and again, we can agree to disagree, is even April couldn't keep it together after everything. Now, she's been through a lot. I would have just liked to see one character from that whole, Turtle-geddon, I guess we can call it. Well, that'll be our little note. Turtle-geddon, we can call issue 100, because that's what it felt like, Turtle-geddon. Nobody was strong at all, dude. You had Casey and Jenica, and Hun's pretty much saying, that ain't your girl anymore, you got to stop. And Casey's like, Dad, I still care for her, but I can't care for her that way. She's heartbroken, because Casey's kind of friend-zoning her, and I'm sorry, I'd love you as a turtle. I wouldn't disown you, but I don't know if I could have a relationship with you if I'm a human. So you can't fault Casey, but you can't fault Jenica either for feeling upset about that. So there's nothing wrong there. Just with April, just seeing her apartment being a total pigsty like a teenage kid or a 12-year-old, that one really it didn't resonate with me, I guess I can say. It's not that it didn't sit well, it just didn't resonate with me. But everything else so far, Mona Lisa, cool. Toka and Razor are coming to town, very cool. You got to do something with characters. So I would say for those who have not read these books, and I could be wrong while we're done with the whole show, but I'm saying if you're a fan of the new Turtles, I'm talking Tales of the Turtles and Mutant Mayhem, Christian, would you agree that this book is probably for them just because there's so many mutants here, similar to that movie that came out a couple years ago?
I never got that connection, but I see where you're going with this. I understand it because, as you said, there's a big focus on the mutants. And so, if you're into this, more mutants, the more mutants, the better. So, starting with issue 101, this could be really for you because you have a whole part of the city just with mutants. So, this could be a pretty thing for you. So, I'm open for it, so check it out. It could be interesting for you.
Yes, and for our cherry on top, my friend, Turtles 2 back out in theaters. We've talked about it here. We've covered it on a previous podcast on Shellonomics here on Spotify and YouTube. but there was a nice little treat if you were going to go see it in theaters. So for those, you may not have enough time to see it, so I don't want to say it's a spoiler. You've had last weekend to check it out. If not, I guess you can mute this part of our podcast, but we're going to break down really quick this little bonus treat. So not our buddy, but Kevin Eastman is talking Turtles. We see our buddy Mikkel Sisti back as a pizza dude, and some Last Ronin kind of vibes here that is not AI generated. So what were your thoughts with this, and where do you think this is going to go?
Well, that's the interesting part, because I wasn't sure about this. I mean, the whole thing where like Kevin Eastman is talking about Turtles and he's drawing it, and it's like I'm always there for it. Kevin Eastman talking and drawing Turtles. I cannot get enough of this. Then you have this little mini movie in there where this mysterious turtle, very Last Ronin style, goes up to the street and fights some foot ninjas. And in the middle of this, there's a pizza delivery guy who turns out to be Miguel Sisti, who was the original Michelangelo. And I had a big smile on my face when I saw that. And it's like really cool. The costume is actually really cool. The turtle is fighting really well. I really enjoyed this fighting scene. And I don't know if this is like a proof of concept. Like, hey, look what we could do. Like, if you give us some money, we could turn this into a big movie, Last Ronin, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And could be like to show off that they could pull it off and still keep the turtle spirit, because during the fight, like the turtle is also goofing off a little bit. And so I really enjoyed it. I really felt it was cool. It was funny. It was like a little mini movie, and I thought it was interesting. And I'm not sure what the plan was with this. If it's just for fun, or if, as I said, it was like a proof of concept for people like producers to see. Maybe, hopefully, I don't know.
It has to be, because otherwise I wonder why else would they would show that. But it didn't even have the little nuck nuck like Three Stooges comedy there with the sound effects and the hits at the end too. So for us old school fans, we love it. So that's going to do it here, guys. Books 13 and 14 are done. We still have 2 more weeks to cover. As long as Christian can hang in with us, I'm sure he can. So, but if you guys want to take a break from the IDW land of this era and get into the current era, Christian, where can I find some more comic book and pretty much anything TMNT?
Yeah, you could check out Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles The Talk, which is my little podcast where, I talk in my English episodes. I mostly talk about the newest TMT comics, and they're still going strong. And just check out TMT The Talk on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you listen to podcasts, or just go to my website, tmnttalk.com, where you can find all the stuff, all the newest episodes, and all the social media stuff, and whatever. Or you could send me a message, an email. I'm always there. I answer everything. I just love talking turtles. I mean, Mike, you know me. If you just give me a call, like, hey, want to talk turtles? I'm like, yes, I want. So yep. I'm always there for it. I'm always up for it.
He'd even give up his own birthday party just to talk turtles. I'm pretty sure he would cancel it just to say, well, sorry, guys, gonna be a little late. All right, well, that's going to do it here, guys. So, still of leaving with Until Next Time, Christian actually pointed this out, too. I really just love the writing that Kevin Eastman and Tom Waltz did in those first 100 issues, because in that Raph Macro series, what did Casey say? I got your back. I always tell you that. So, me and Christian always have your guys back, Turtle fans, and we'll leave it at that, my dude.
Oh, yeah. Hear you all next week.